with me a pile of books that I would have put on the best books of the 21st century fantasy edition. So, let's get into it, because so many people are salty about the New York Times list. I haven't really looked at it, to be fair, but I've heard a lot of stuff, and the only fantasy book on there was the 5th season. Why the fuck was it only the 5th season? The 5th season is incredible, but there are so many more incredible fantasy books on there. So the 5th season is obviously going to stay. These are my personal preferences. These are all books that I've read, and I chose these books more on one, how I felt, and then The Grace of Kings. This possessed me with how good it was, and it was really like Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones would be on here, but it was published in 1994. But The Grace of Kings, if you don't know much about it, go look it up. Trust my recommendation. It is, when I say it's like Game of Thrones, I really mean it's like Game of Thrones. It expanses so much time. It is so well done. The character moments, the betrayals, marriages, things that happen. Another one here is Gideon the Knights, because the way it's told, I mean, I love it, obviously, but it's just, Tamsyn Muir just did something different with this book that you don't see in many other books, that I think it just means it deserves to be on here, purely from a craft standpoint, especially when you go into Harrow and then Nona, and like, possibly whenever we're going to get Electo. Please tell me when we're going to get Electo, I really, really want it. But how she does this, description she does this, the voice that comes out of here is just phenomenal. Now, I would choose the first 5 trilogy, but I can't. So I'm choosing Fool's Fate, because I obviously kind of probably Ship of Magic as well, but Fitz is my boy. This is the best one out of it. This is published in 2003. And as much as I love Fool's Errand, Fool's Fate, it just does stuff that is so much better. I'm also tempted to also put Assassin's Fate on here, because that book broke me so completely that it deserves to get all the awards just because of how many tears I shed. Obviously I'm going to pick a John Quinn book, and obviously I'm going to pick Ruin, because I believe this is his best work. Face on the Fallen as a whole is so much better than Bloodsworn, right? As a whole. Shadow of the Gods, better written. You're getting more to stuff quicker, it's more faster paced, but this has more heartbreaking moments in this, and how the plot progresses when you look at Malice and Valage, then this, and then you get Wrath. It's just incredible, so I had to put this on here. One that I'm actually really salty didn't get on, actually there's a few I'm salty that didn't get on, Clytemnestra. This definitely deserved to be on here. Like, it's a retelling of Clytemnestra. I didn't know much about Clytemnestra. I didn't know much about her. I googled it and I was like, oh my god, it's horrific. And the way the author told her story, so much feminine rage. This should be on the best on that list, especially how it's written, how it's brought together, how you really feel and like delve into Clytemnestra as a person. Why is this not on here? Another one I'm really salty about that didn't get on here is Babel. Babel. This was bringing commentary on the elitism in Oxford's British community, along with the Chinese people, and it definitely deserved it. There is some fantasy elements in here. Am I particularly happy how it ended? No, but I think it definitely deserves to be on here because so many people love this book. It's so well written, and the commentary it's placing on, why wasn't it on there? This is kind of annoying because this would have been something that I would have thought would have been chosen, because its fantasy elements in this are quite light, but then the message and the commentary the author was trying to bring across. Another one that really should have been on here, Seven Moons of Malian Media. Yes, it's told in second person, but it's so beautifully done. Like, incredibly done. It won the Booker Prize Award in 2022. That tells you so much about this shit. I mean, holy fucking shit, this book, man. Commentary on how things were like in Sri Lanka. You're following a ghost trying to find out who killed him. And he did all sorts of work. There's so much going on, so much woven without, and it's written so beautifully. Why wasn't it on there? The one that I am going to put on there is going to be Travis Baldry. Legend Lattes, Bookshops and Bone Dust. I think Bookshops and Bone Dust is better, but Legend Lattes I think has got more popular. Mainly because he's actually kickstarted back the cozy fantasy genre. Like, The Hobbit was cozy, you have some other stuff, but we didn't really have a name for it, and he created the name cozy, and so many people have then jump started into, oh, I want to find cozy. So many writers have gone, I am going to go I am going to go write a cozy. So you have to give him some credit for that. And that's why I think this needs to be on here, because he's inspired so many other people to either pick up a book or try something different, and so many writers to actually explore more within their storytelling, because he started cozy fantasy. Sword of Kaigen. I mean, the Sword of Kaigen is amazing. It is incredible. It is everything that a book should be. It's traumatic. It's brilliant. But this should be on there. Holy fucking shit, why wasn't it? Another one that actually got me started reading when I was a kid, I think it was like the third book. Wow. I read Harry Potter, Eragon series, and then I went on to this. And this is The Night Circus. The Night Circus. Holy shit. This is a character study. This is about love. This is about loss. This is about circus. And so many people love it. So many kids love it. That's the only reason why I'm going to put it on here. And the prose, it's so good. Erin Morgenstern has only put 2 books out. Both books, high ratings. Both books, I haven't read Star Sea yet, but especially The Night Circus, it's still going strong today. And it was published over 10 years ago. Words of Radiance. This is the highest rated, pretty sure, I don't know about highest rated book, but definitely high rated fantasy book on Goodreads. And there is a reason why. Yes, its prose is simple. Tansen chose that for a reason. But the whole Stormlight Archive has gotten such a community around it, with so many theories, so many people, he's gotten so many people like into reading. And especially in this book, where everything comes together so well, so satisfactory, and that's why I think it's the best book. Well, a lot of people say this is the best book. A lot of people say it is the best book out of the series. A lot of people, you know, how it all just comes together, especially like the endings that Sanderson does, especially the ending that Sanderson does, you know, the Sander launches, all of this jazz. It definitely deserved to be on there, especially when you take in the scope of what he's trying to do. And Words of Radiance should be on there, just because how he does his promises and his payoffs and the satisfactory that we feel as a reader. I can't honestly explain too much more than that, because I would get into spoilers. But I am going to put some Starnix on here. Mainly because it's told in a way that I don't see often. I can't really explain much about it. It's Madabada retelling cross with First Law and Game of Thrones. And how it's told, how the characters come across, how deeply moving towards the end it made me. It's just unique in the way it's in the telling, that's why it's on here. But now I am okay. Dance of Dragons. It's been a while since I've read Dance of Dragons, but this is Game of Thrones and Clash of Kings is the best out of the lot, right? But they weren't. They were just out of. The publication date was just out of it, so they couldn't technically be in here. But I am going to put Dance of Dragons in here, because the whole series that George R. R. Martin is trying to do, the big scope he's trying to do, how it got picked up for a TV show, how so many people have picked it up, people who are non-readers have picked up this series because of the show and read it. That's why this deserves to be on here. So A Dance of Dragons, yes, it's going to be on here. I would put the whole series on here, but obviously I can't, because, you know, 21st century. But there we go. The First Binding, and this is going to be on here purely because of how he weaves the story together. The prose is excellent. It's far better than Name of the Wind in my opinion. People say it's like Name of the Wind. It's a rip-off from Name of the Wind. It's not. It's just taking heavily inspiration from Name of the Wind. And it takes inspiration from other stories as well. He really delved back into the roots of what stories are. Because it's a story within a story within a story. And the main message of this is stories in this. So many people tell stories. So many people just explore this, and he explores themes. He went back to did so much research into where all these stories first originated from. That is all woven so beautifully together. This deserves to be on this list. Those are my choices for what should be on the best books of the 21st century New York Times list, fantasy edition. Let me know what yours are going to be below, and I hope you enjoyed this. And thank you for Ross and Laura for giving me the idea for this, because I've been thinking about doing just one for TikTok, but I thought, why not do one here as well? So if you want the short version of it, I'll link it down below. But hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next one.